Good. We got about 20 people waiting to come in. We will proceed to admit all of them. Mr. Vergara, we will let you unshare your slide first. Is that okay?
Yep, already did.
Not yet. We will let you unshare. We can still see your slide.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Okay, team. I think we are ready to go. So we will just let everyone in. Maya, you can. I'll let you do that.
I don't know the mic is on or not. The mic is on. My God. Hello, good evening. I'm Ravi Ankela from Craft.
Maybe you can start, Michael. You're on mute.
Hey, all right. Good morning to all our Brazilian partners. Thank you so much, ABI SEMI, the Association of Semiconductor. And of course, thank you so much, Mr. Israel from the Brazilian Electrical and Electronic Industry Association. And a warm welcome to all of you. And to Malaysian company that are joining us today, I'm sure that you all are very excited for the business matching session right after the presentation at 8:30. And I think we will have received your respective link to enter your room. So first of all, thank you so much. And behalf of MDEC, myself, I'm Mr. Michael from the Malaysia Digital Economy Corporation. And specifically, we are in the digital export team. What we do is we help Malaysian company to explore business opportunity outside from Malaysia. And specifically today is for the market Brazil. And today, the theme is Semiconductor Day. Subsequently, on the 9 and 11, we have the Smart City and as well as the Cybersecurity and also the FinTech Day. So we are grateful and glad for the time, Mr. Israel, Mr. Rogerio. Thank you so much for making time today. And I don't want to take the spotlight from both of you. And without further ado, perhaps I will let Mr. Rogerio to start off with an introduction of ABI SEMI. Yeah, over to you, Mr. Rogerio.
So good morning for the Brazilians. Good evening for the people in Malaysia. I'm Rogério Nunes, president of ABSEMI, the Brazilian Industry Association for the Semiconductor Industry. And I really would like to say thank you for the MDEC, the Malaysia Digital Economic Corporation, for the invitation and for the opportunity. Mr. Michael, appreciate your support. And I think, I hope we can have a very productive meeting here. focusing on the collaboration between Brazil and Malaysia for the semiconductor activities. I'm going to place here a presentation. I have few slides. I'm not going to take that much time because I believe the discussion will be the most important point for this section. But initially, I hope you are seeing my slides. And should I start my presentation?
Yes, Mr. Guerrero, over to you. We can see your
Okay.
slide. Yeah.
Okay. So first, I would like just to give a little explanation about the Abisemi. Abisemi was founded in 2014. We are now making 10 years, so it's pretty much a young organization. But we have a mission, which is contribute to the developing of innovation technology and improvement of the competitiveness in the semiconductor industry in Brazil. The strategy is we go through our mission through the promotion of the dialogue and integration of the companies with all federal institutions, the state institutions, government institutions in Brazil, promoting the engagement between companies to the semiconductor industry. Abisemi is an organization with about 16 affiliates. We have affiliates companies in the IC design here. Chipus, local company. Qualcomm is pretty much well known. Lumentum, also a local company. We have also affiliating the wafer fab, doing wafer diffusion. It is a government company called the SEITEC. But the majority of the operations in Brazil are really in the packaging and test of components, especially memory components. We have global companies, local companies. I personally have to say that I am founder and co-founder, actually, and currently president CEO of Zilia Technology, which was the pioneer in the semiconductor industry in Brazil in the second stage of the market entry. And we have 5 companies doing packaging and test of global wafers in Brazil. We also have a number of ICT, which is R&D institutions, R&D lab, with the developing of prototyping, developing of materials, developing of products. The industry in Brazil, the semiconductor industry in Brazil, has about 20 companies already engaging to the PADIS. PADIS is the major federal government program to develop the semiconductor industry in Brazil. As you can see, not all the semiconductor companies are actually affiliated to Abisemi yet, but of course Abisemi is already growing, and the affiliates of Abisemi already has a revenue of $1 billion in calendar year 22. That gives you an overview about what these companies are doing. Also inside Abisemi, these affiliates already invested over $2.5 billion in CAPEX, which is basically investment in infrastructure, clean rooms, machinery, equipment for manufacturing tests, and employs right now over 2,500 very specialized employees. We have invested over $250 million in dedicated in R&D just for product developing. Very interesting point here is, of course, the PADIS is the incentive program for Brazil, but this industry is already collecting tax, which is greater than the waiver given by the federal government. This is a sign that we are growing very fast. The industry in Brazil pretty much serves the following application market. Here you see in this table, and you have memory components, which is the majority of the product. This here, memory IC market, represents for the semiconductor industry in Brazil, for the local industry, somewhat like a 90 or 95% of the Brazilian revenue of this $1 billion by now. We wanted to diversify. We wanted to penetrate in new markets and new applications, which includes, for instance, now automotive, which here is in the stack because we think automotive in Brazil is a great opportunity. We have over 25 brands manufacturing automotive in Brazil, and we have 50 manufacturing sites doing cars and trucks and motorbikes. When you look to the global market, I think it's pretty much well known. The market is by WTST was defined as $574 billion. Sorry, here is a million, but it's $1 billion. Brazilian semiconductor industry is estimated of $12 billion. Brazilian semiconductor market is estimated of $12 billion. That will be around 2.1% of the global market. So this is pretty much the number on the IT sector, for instance. When you look into the electronics industry in Brazil, when you look into computers, smartphones, tablets, or IT goods, we usually see that Brazil is between 2 to 4% of the global market in volumes. So Brazil is pretty much meaningful market, and the majority of these products are actually made in Brazil. I think Israel, following my presentation, will give you more detail about the IT industry in Brazil. Brazil is now importing somewhat like a $5.2 billion in integrated circuits. So you here can see about 12 billion in semiconductor market. We are importing about 5.2 billion, and Abisemi is selling $1 billion, which is 83% of the Brazil market. Abisemi has very much confidence that we can grow this business coming forward, especially because Brazil has developed the National Semiconductor Plan, which is basically 3 pillars: supporting the strengthening and the semiconductor design industry, support the production of the wafers in Brazil, and expand and diversify the existing or new packaging initiatives in Brazil. The actions are focusing on 6 major points, which includes human capital formation, talent development, strengthening of the research infrastructure, ICTs, R&D infrastructure, investment in R&D and innovation, factories implementation, expansion and modernization, tax incentives for local production, aiming to support the domestic market, but also to support the international global market for the semiconductor consumers, and acquisition of developing and producing technology in Brazil. With a focus on this, to give you a little bit of a more clarity, here you have 3 colors comparing, and you of course here you can see the red flags and yellow flags. Yellow flags means already implemented. Red flags means is not supporting. Without PADIs means before the PADIs industrial policy being established. With a PADIs is the current situation, and with a PBS is the new Brazil semiconductor plan established right now for the federal Brazilian government. We saw 2 weeks ago this Brazil Semicon, as we call right now, approved in Congress, is now on the hands of President Lula for the final sanction, and we expect this to be finally approved by the federal government by September 11, and then which means very soon we will have a plan that will satisfy the majority of the tax incentives that the industry demands. Abisemi pretty much work with the federal government in order to establish what would be the requirements and what would be the needs to implement incentives in order to Brazil be able to expand the semiconductor industry, attract more manufacturing in Brazil, and become an international player. The global chain needs balance, as we all know. This is pretty much for concentrating Asia, but not only in Malaysia. Malaysia already has a very meaningful stake for the semiconductor industry. I believe Malaysia is now somewhat close to 7.5% of the global semiconductor market, which is outstanding. But Brazil is somewhat like 0.25%. So we pretty much behind the Malaysia infrastructure for the semiconductor, but we think the partnership with Malaysia could include Brazil in a better position in the semiconductor manufacturing production chain. Brazil is ready with this new Brazil Semiconductor Plan, and with the existing small but very meaningful manufacturing lines and very meaningful manufacturing knowledge, including design knowledge. Here, the opportunity, as we all know already, the packaging and test, which is the majority of the business in Brazil, was just a manufacturing before. But now, packaging and test is gaining a momentum, especially for the advanced packaging, which includes the design for the packaging. And the design for the packaging is pretty much unique. Brazilian companies feel very prepared to jump into this new technology with advantage packaging, including the true silicon via technology, wafer level packaging. We already have a wire bonding, of course, the flip chip technology, and we are developing wafer level packaging and true silicon via technology. As a summary, we selected here just 4 bullets to express our thinking about Brazil and Malaysia Semiconductor Day and how this could be a good cooperation between 2 countries. The first is to increase the collaboration, especially in 3 levels. The first one is in ICTs, R&D, design, and designing companies. We think Brazil has talent. Brazil has a pretty much well-developed education systems. We have to focusing on developing of talent for this area, and we think we can cooperate with Malaysia for this, especially knowing that talent in semiconductor is becoming a bottleneck of the semiconductor process. The other one is to strengthen the industrial partnerships and linking semiconductor value chain. Brazil is an opportunity for the value chain of the globe, because is equidistant from Europe, US, and Asia. So that makes us pretty much well positioning to participation of the semiconductor value chain. Also, we can promote and have directions to create partnerships between companies in Malaysia and in Brazil for developing of a product, for manufacturing, even joint ventures to expand certain business in both countries and gaining market share and momentum in the global market. The second bullet is pretty much for the education and talent. We have to improve the interregional semiconductor ecosystem, create areas of education, create conditions to develop a capacity and talent in creation, and that could be made, for example, by a creation of a semiconductor competency center, which Malaysia and Brazil could invest together. Also promote the bilateral post-graduation, pretty much working the academic universities and education areas to work on training of engineers both sides, creating areas for training technology, developing technology scientists and entrepreneurs in the area. The first bullet is pretty much to coordinate and cooperate to improve a model, to improve the resilience of the semiconductor supply chain. I think Brazil and Malaysia take a middle point when we talk about the dispute of the geopolitical situation in Brazil, especially between US and China, Taiwan included. But for us to take the midpoint, I think we can have a very good cooperation and strategy to support a better distribution in the supply chain, the semiconductor area. And finally, semiconductor at the center of technology innovation around the world. And Brazil is now ready, especially with the new Brazil Semicon plan, to participate more strongly in this global value chain. So Brazil has the support of the federal government. Brazil has an infrastructure already implemented for all the 3 levels, design, fabs, and packaging and tests. And we have now a program that will stimulate not only the developing market, but we will stimulate cost for Brazil to be able to compete broadly outside also. This is my first initial message. I think I'm still in the time, so I appreciate, and I'll be very happy to be able to walk in a Q&A section in a few minutes with all of you. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Rogerio. Such a full presentation. And to participants here in this room, we will also share the slides for you to capture some of the keynotes, as well as the next presenter. So moving forward, I would like to welcome our next presenter, Mr. Israel, from the Brazilian Electrical and Electronic Industry, or in short, ABINEE. Over to you, Mr. Israel. Okay,
thank
we
you
can
very
see your
much.
we can
Yeah.
see your slide. Yeah,
Okay,
just
you
need to
can
do a full screen. Yeah, you can click on the full screen.
hear me too.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, full screen now. Okay, thank you very
Okay.
much
Yep. Thank you.
thank you very much for the opportunity to talk about Brazilian electrical and electronics market from our association. Thank you to Rogério Nunes, that is also is director of Abinee, and the companies that participate in Absemi also participate in Abinee. Abinee was founded on 1963, so we have around more than 60 years of actuation. We have around 400 company members from 11 areas of industry in the electrical and electronic sector. Abinee have some branch offices in all Brazil territory, in the most important industrial cities in Brazil. And in the presentation, we have a link for the company members. We have around 400 companies. In this link, you can consult all the information of companies and products. So we classified the members of Abinee by the products that they do. So we have 11 sector areas by industrial segments. In our case, the most important is IT products or computers. We have electrical and electronic components that includes semiconductors. We have electronic services manufacturing, household appliances, the telecommunications area, and communication mobile devices. That is the mobile phones, the most representative. All these areas of Abinee is involved with ICT. ICT is information communication technology. That we believe that's the motor or the lead for the decarbonization, the digital transformation of our society. In this presentation, you have a very brief video that can resume and can complete the information. You can access the link in another occasion. We have some studies and publications that also is linked on the presentation that Abinee has positions to the governmental sphere and to the legislative sphere also, with recommendations to improve the market and to improve industrial activity. Also, we have in Abinee our sector project or sector actions with Apex Brazil. That's Brazilian agents to promote exportations. We have a very close relationship to them. We have some target markets, and we have some actions in the abroad that Abinee takes to our associates. To economy and statistics department of Abinee, we have this handbook. There is a physical handbook, but here is a digital version. We have the link for the economic overview and performance of the sector that we will share some information of this handbook. Very useful to companies to get information to plan their activities. So this is the general indicators of our industry. We have a sales, a revenue of $41 billion last year. In reais, that's our currency, is around more than 200 billion reais. Okay, we have employees in our sector around 266,000 employees in our sector, including semiconductors sector, and we have some utilization of installed capacity around 73% last year. It means that there is some industrial capacity in Brazil to be developed, to be used with the investments already done. Also, we have here in Abinee our sector of technology and industrial policy that we stimulate local production, and we have all information of local production in Brazil. We have also relationship to the international and sub-regional, regional, and national forums of standardization and regulation. So all questions of regulation, the participation in the IEC quill scheme of certification, we can discuss here in Abinee. Also, we have our innovation entity called the IPD Electron, that the main objective of this entity is promote partnership, technological partnerships between companies and institutes or universities. Today, we have 39 innovation members with 60 R&D centers in Brazil, across all the Brazil. Even on the regions that has few industries, but they are very strong on develop of technology because of the public policy, ICT law, that is complementary to PEDs that Rogério explained us before, that require investments on northeast and north region of Brazil. So we have now a number of institutes that develop technology from all Brazil. IPD Electron act as at innovation ecosystem as a coordinator of the flow of demands from industry, from academy, and from the support of consultancies to the government, to the policymaker and the funding entities. We have also an initiative of sustainability named Green Electron. That's a take-back system to electronics. Also, we have participate at the United Nations SDGs and the United Nations Global Compact. Here is a resume of the Green Electron, and here is the companies that participate on the take-back system. Note that there is no companies from semiconductors because on the law in Brazil doesn't require that semiconductors participate that, but the final products does participate on the take-back systems. You'll see international brands and local brands that help us in this issue to fulfill the commitments that the government require from our companies. So it's a resume of our initiatives on sustainability and innovation with the numbers that we have promoted here in Abinee. We have governmental relations very strong action in the House of Representatives in Brazil, in federal level, legislative assemblies at regional level. We have a strong relationships to the agencies and the funding entities, and in the right side we have some themes that we are discuss the most important in this moment to highlight the law of TICS, the ICT law that have improvements. Here is not correct, 2049, no, 2073. I will explain that later. And we have a national policy for Internet of Things, Industry 4.0. So the most recent achievement that Rogério said in the presentation is the approving on the House of Representatives and on the Senate the ICT and semiconductor policy. And that's very important for our sector. It was approved on the Senate on August 21, the 21st, and we are expecting the sign from the President Lula as of September 11. So we have a very recent legal mark that will promote the growth. We expect to promote the growth, the semiconductor sector in Brazil, and also the information technology sector. We have some three main points on this improvement of the law. Improved industrial policy for information telecommunication software and semiconductor. Adjust on the term for granting incentives and stimulating the development of national technology and local production. This is the point that the Brazilian government wants to foster in Brazil: local production and local development of technology, and creates the Brazilian semiconductor program that we call Semicon program in Brazil. There's some details here in this link, and in the Article 2nd of this law, there is the target in all these items, these 9 items, is the transfer of technology, because the local production is stimulated on this law, and the develop of technology also needs to be done in Brazil to also to promote the transfer of technology. Here's
Okay.
the
That's good.
Hello,
Okay.
do you hear me?
Oh, yes, we hear you. So Mr. Israel, we will let you cover this last slide, and then perhaps for the subsequent slide, we will send it to the participant. Is that okay?
Sorry?
We will let you cover this last slide. Then following slide, we
Okay.
can send it to the participant. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much, everyone. And we have to cut off the session because subsequently from 8:30 onwards, we will have our business-to-business matching session. Some of you have registered and we have assigned the room. And due to overwhelming response, some of you might not get the session as well. But certainly, we will follow up for you to have a one-on-one
Sorry,
session.
I'm hearing.
Do you hear me?
Okay.
Yes, I
Good.
do.
Carry on.
Okay, yes. So for those that didn't get a slot today, we will have a separate arrangement. So before we adjourn to the session, we will have a group photo. So should you want to be in the group photo, perhaps you can switch on your video and we will take on a snapshot. Yeah, is that okay for everyone?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, we can see more photos right now, about 15, 16, 20. Okay, we will do that in another 5 seconds. Okay, we are getting there. Okay, small everyone. Going to take on a screenshot in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so with that, you guys can proceed to the room or the link that we have assigned to you. Should you need any help, just probably put it in the chat. And with that, we will let you exit this room. Thank you so much, Mr. Gregorio. Thank you so much, Mr. Israel. It's a very insightful sharing and much appreciate the time that you have spent today. Thank you so much, Rosanna as well, Mr. Luis from the Embassy of Brazil in KL, and the rest of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.